there, welcome back to my kitchen. Alright, so what I'm going to make for you today is Korean barbecue. I've got about 4 pounds of a rib roast that I sliced thin into about a 1/4 inch thick strips against the grain, and not quite beef jerky thin, but pretty thin. That way the marinade will really penetrate and make it really nice and tender and flavorful. So for the marinade, what I'm going to add is, in my bowl I already have 1/2 cup of water and a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of honey. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar. In this bowl, I've got a 1/2 cup of soy sauce and a 1.5 tablespoons of sesame oil. Pour that in. Add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Half cup of green onion that I chopped thin. Got 4 cloves of garlic that I minced, and 1.5 tablespoons of fresh grated ginger. Oh, it smells so good. Smell that sesame oil. And then here in this bowl, I've got 1 whole Asian pear. If you don't know what that is, they look like this. Looks like an apple, but it's a pear. And then 1/2 of a sweet onion that I finely chopped. I'm going to go ahead and throw that into my marinade. This one here is one, I know I say that a lot, but it's one of my favorites. I like a lot of flavor. I like a variety of flavors, but I like a big punch, and this one has it. And it makes that meat so tender. You got to let it marinate for about 24 hours. For best results. Even up to 48 hours is good. And the meat, like, once you grill it, it's going to be like so tender, fall apart, really nice. All right, so I've given this a nice mix. Now that I've given it a good mix, I'm going to go ahead and pour this over my beef. Okay, I'm just going to give it a good mix. Make sure all the meat gets into that marinade. Okay, so she's nicely combined. I'm going to put the lid on and put it in the fridge overnight. And I'm also going to give it like a good stir every couple hours, just so that every piece of beef gets really nice and marinated. And then I'll show you how I cook it tomorrow. Okay, so the rib roast that I sliced up nice and thin and put in a nice Korean barbecue marinade has been in the fridge for 48 hours. So this beef is going to be super tender and super flavorful. What I'm going to do first, I've got my Traeger grill already preheating. I set it to 450. So mine usually hovers around 400. So it would be good if it could be a little bit hotter to get some really nice sear marks on it, but 400 will still work really good. So I'm going to make just a simple Korean coleslaw to go on top. I'm going to toast buns at the very end and serve my Korean barbecue beef on a bun with some coleslaw, and it's going to be flavor bomb. All right, so what I'm going to start with is making my coleslaw dressing. So I've got here 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to throw that in. Next, I've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Throw that in there too. Here I've got 2 cloves of garlic minced and 1 about inch long chunk of ginger, fresh ginger that I grated. Throw that in there. I've got 1 tablespoon brown sugar for a little sweetness. And I'm also going to add about 1/2 cup of green onion that I finely chopped. Just like that. Give that a nice stir. Okay, one more ingredient is some sriracha. I like sriracha. If you don't like heat, you can either leave this out, or if you like heat a lot, you can add more. But I add about a teaspoon, let's go with 2. I like heat. 2 teaspoons. Okay, give that a good stir. So I got my coleslaw ready to go. I just used 1 pack of coleslaw, already prepared, already chopped up. You can always chop it yourself if you want. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my dressing in there. Okay, got 2 spoons, just gonna give it a mix. All right, so my coleslaw is all mixed up and ready to go. I'm gonna set it aside, let all those flavors come together. I did want to show you guys one thing, is I made my own kimchi. Sadly, it won't be ready for this meal because it takes 3 days to ferment, and I only put it together yesterday. I've never done it before, so I'm gonna taste it out first before I share an actual recipe. But basically it's Napa cabbage. I chopped up some carrots and some green onions, and then the sauce is a mixture of Korean chili paste. I've got some fresh garlic, about 5 cloves. I've got a nice chunk of fresh ginger that I put in there, and a shallot. And so I put that through a food processor till it made like this awesome paste, and I coated all the cabbage and the carrots and the green onion, and now I just let it ferment for a couple days. It's really good for you, so it's worth a try. I'm hoping this recipe turns out really good. If it does, I'll share it with you guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go check to see if my grill is ready to go, and I'm going to grill up this awesome meat. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so my grill is showing 406 now, so that's a good temp. My beef looks awesome. I'm going to try and get this on there as quickly as I can because I just want to grill it on each side for like 3 to 5 minutes a side. And I want to try and keep as much heat as I can inside my grill. So I've got 2 sets of tongs, and I'm just going to try and get this done really fast. Here goes. Alright, so I got the hull on. I'm going to let that get back up to temp. It did drop down to 250. I guess I wasn't fast enough. But hopefully it gets back up there nice and quick, and I'll let them go for probably about 5 minutes, and then I'll flip them. Alright, so I pulled my beef off the grill. It took about, I flipped it after 5 minutes, left it going for another 5 minutes. The temperature did drop quite a bit when I opened the door. It's a little chilly out today, so it took a little bit longer to get up to temp than I wanted it to, but it turned out great. It's got some awesome little sear marks on it, and it's so tender. The marinade worked its magic. It's perfect. So I'm going to throw that on a bun that I just broiled in the oven. I did add a slice of cheese, and I added a little bit of the Traeger sugar lip sriracha. I like that one. It's got a nice kick, but it's still sweet. The meat honestly is good on its own. You don't even need sauce. It's so flavorful. And then when you add the coleslaw on top, it's even better. This piece, make it into a nice sandwich, and it's so tender that it's like delicious. All right, that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some of my coleslaw. See if I can do this without making a giant mess. A little bit more. Okay. And that's it. There you have it. This is my Korean barbecue burger with a nice Korean slaw. It's gonna be delicious. All right, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel.